We've never been to that.
No, it's okay, I just don't know how particular we should be, but I'm pretty anal about some stuff.
Should we spell it?
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Are we on? Okay.
All right, Wednesday, June the 5th, Hanover Township Board meeting. We shall call this meeting to order. Start out with a prayer by someone who would like to step forward.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. Just thank you, first of all, for your love, your unconditional love. And we thank you for that you provided a Savior for us, that without that, we wouldn't have a relationship with you. So I just pray, Father, you'd bless this time, that you would guide and direct us in the decisions that we make, and that in all that we would glorify you. And I just ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Turn around here. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doing very well,
No bad. Getting better.
one day at a time.
Roll call,
Mr. Niemeyer,
present.
Charlie Corcoran,
Present.
Marilyn Caper, here.
To record state that all three board members are here, thus establishing a quorum. We'll move on to item number E, it's minutes of the previous meetings. We have before us the minutes from the February meeting, February 7th. Also the April the 4th meeting. We have not approved them, therefore we haven't signed them. Has anyone had an opportunity, or everyone had an opportunity to look them over?
I have read all of them. I move for approval.
Motion has been made to approve the minutes for the February as well as the April meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded by voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have here the signature sheets if you would like to do so. Okay, we shall move on briskly, old business. As stated by the agenda, we have none. If there's any changes to that, Mr. Tolt, you,
Anything under old business?
anybody else have anything they would like to add to old business?
No, I know.
I don't either.
Okay, we shall move on to item G, new business, fire department reports.
You have the March and April reports. I did not have the May, have I got them yet? That's a few days out. I have been in contact with St. John. I'm trying to get them to give me a little more detailed report. And I think that, I mean, I hope it's only 3 calls out there, but I really don't think, I think there's more than 3. But they told me the last 2 months it's only been 3 calls that they've had each month out in our new territory or new area out there, which again, I don't believe, but we'll see. They're working on trying to print me a register, kind of like the Trustee-Lake register that's behind it. The St. John one, all they've given me is that front page where it says 3 calls. And I did ask them to make it more specific, like a Trustee-Lake report where it's got each actual address, so I can kind of balance out what they're saying. So you can see their calls, and then you can see the Trustee-Lake calls. So Cedar Lake's down to 12 or 13 or 14.
What was the specifics from St. John? Were they ambulance calls?
That's all I know of, is that they were either accidents or ambulance calls, because he wasn't able, I don't know why he hasn't been able to, but, they've got some issues too, so they're working on it.
Okay.
So that's about all I can give you on the report at that time, at this time anyway.
Any other discussion? Go ahead, sir.
Well, we might as well just stay on the fire department since we reports, but we can move forward on. I did receive, last week they had Cedar Lake had some problems with the engine. You have the invoices in your packet there. They sent out an email basically to everybody in the town hierarchy, and it was to me plus a copy to all of them, I should say. So, in your packet there, you've got 3 invoices for repairs. Yeah, the legacy. The original ones I got, I basically sent them back to them and told them to remove the regular maintenance stuff, because there were some oil changes and air filters in there that I think should be part of this consideration.
No, that should not be our responsibility.
Yeah, so, well, it is because it's contracted and it's in the contract, so
The oil changes?
it's part of the contract, maintenance.
Oh.
Of the 160,000 that we give them already, that's part of the written in the contract, that they're supposed to do regular maintenance on the trucks.
Oh, they are?
They are.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
Which-
Well, that's what I was saying, I
This is
hope that's not,
number 4 on page 2 of our contract, so.
okay.
I sent it back to them, they removed it and sent me back the invoices without that stuff in there. Some of the stuff that they sent me, and the big deal was there was actually some brake problems and they found a broken leaf spring. When they were pulling the wheels to check the brakes. So as you can see, it was quite a bit of money, about almost $9,000, $8,500, $8,600 for the springs. So that's one of the invoices is for the springs, and there's another invoice that is for the brakes, or part of it's brakes anyway, I should say, the brakes are in here too. Brakes and brake drums are in part of the $8,500 with the spring. I mean, can you call brakes regular maintenance? Yes. But again, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys, because and the other 2 are, one is for air conditioning, which has been a problem every year, and I please ask them to do something about this already, because I don't see why we're paying to fix an air conditioner every year, fix it, it should be done. I don't know what the problem is. But again, we don't have control over who's doing these repairs. And then the last one was
How much was that bill for AC?
Right here.
2,400?
Right here.
2400.
24,569.
So did this go in twice, or is this labor, are these 2 vehicles or 1 vehicle?
No one, that's for the truck.
I can attest to one thing. Just to doing air conditioning in our shop and our trucks, you have $1,000 in parts before you even think about it.
Before you start, huh?
This refrigerant, 30 pounds. I'm not quite sure parts, $16,000.
And then they've got,
I think it's 6 times, almost $17 an hour.
It's 17, yeah, that's what it is.
It's 16,970.
So you're
94,774.
taking 60 times 0.65?
It's 16
It's-
times 16.94774.
Yeah, so 6 hours.
I got you, okay.
Yep.
So why did they put a dollar sign?
$16.90,
Whoa.
basically 95 cents.
Yeah, they get pretty technical if they're dividing the
Yeah.
hourly rate down that, instead of just putting $17 an hour
Yeah,
to go to that trouble. I don't know.
as you can see, there was kind of like somewhere there was actually some charges for diagnosing or figuring out what the heck was wrong, and then coming back and getting the parts and putting the truck back in service, so. But after all that, I mean, we're looking at,
So, yeah, so it's 6 pounds of Freon.
Yeah.
It's $17 a pound. And then shop supplies.
so totally, we're looking at about a little over $14,000. And again, it goes down to what do we wanna say is regular maintenance and what do we say is part of our truck?
Well, the brakes and the springs, the springs I don't know about, but the brakes are regular and filters are regular maintenance.
Like I said, I did have them pull up the oil changes and the filters and stuff, that's already been removed.
Yeah,
The rest of this stuff, again, that's why I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What you think, we do have, currently with the public safety fund, with the money that we have from the excess levy, we're sitting at we still have about $28,000 available before we'd have to even go into the queue or a rainy day or anything, so. Again, it's totally up to you what you wanna, what we wanna call, or whether we wanna push it as regular maintenance.
I think we have to identify at some point in time, what is regular maintenance in that contract? What does that mean?
this stuff.
Who's
So,
going to do the brakes if it's regular maintenance? I mean, this
You
is
mean
all
who's
for
gonna
one
pay for it?
truck?
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
all for, oh my God.
so major capital repairs would be an engine, a transmission,
Right.
a rear end,
Right, but normal soft maintenance on any vehicle
is use.
is use,
So
which
brakes
is
are
all of
use.
this, outside of maybe the air conditioning,
Well,
because that could go anytime, I mean, I get that, that's,
but that's not considered major repair under,
No.
I mean, if you're talking about fleet service,
Air conditioning is a pain in the backside.
it is for us too.
Commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
In particular. That's where I've experienced, all I can tell you is every spring you work on air conditioning.
Yeah.
I find this price here on a AC compressor at $1,900. Oh, that's a little spicy in my estimation.
Well, I can say, and you know this too, Rich, we tried in the past, I tried to tell him who we wanted to work on this thing. And every time he does it for a while and then we wind up with where they want it to go.
so who was maintaining this vehicle before?
Well, it was he was working with fire services for a long time.
With us, who were we contracting out to?
Well, fire service used to do a lot of the work.
Okay.
And then there was some issues, I don't know what happened.
There's a fallout.
Yeah, there was a fall. And then we went to, somehow we got the Legacy, but in between we had, Superior working on it. But I know the guy that we had going there doesn't work for them anymore.
He was with Radiator.
Is that Nagel?
Dave Nagel was at Superior, yes.
No, what was that guy named?
Jesse,
Jesse,
he was with Trans Chicago.
yeah,
He would come out because that tanker truck was under warranty, but he agreed to do other work on the other truck.
yeah. And we were
They
trying,
still have a guy. Jesse moved out to western part of Chicago, so he doesn't even work for Trans Chicago.
yeah, no, you
anymore.
said that I know he left.
And this
So-
gentleman, Jason is his name, he comes by us once in a while. When we had lease trucks, then he was obligated to be there, but now you hire him, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not real cheap. I personally haven't spoken to anyone at Superior about doing that. I know they would do the work, I think they would treat us fair. The only thing I did mention to them last time I spoke was, you have to understand that this is a fire truck. You know, this isn't a guy's green truck where you can set it aside for a while. You can't do that.
Well, they can't work on certain parts of it, but they can
Some
work on,
of them
they
can
can do
work on
wheels
it.
and
When
springs,
it comes to this
you know.
stuff here, I can tell you this, as far as the air conditioning, Dave Nagel won't touch it.
No.
He said all he does is lose money when he does air conditioning.
Yeah.
He said, get somebody in there, we put $1,000 worth of stuff in it, week later, the guy comes back and says, it's your fault.
Oh, jeez.
So I happened to been there a day when he told all the people, do not take any air conditioning jobs, period,
There you go.
unless he really knows you. It's just one of them things that you lose money at.
So is there the possibility that we could say any and all maintenance that we would cover has to be done by one of two people.
What?
Well, I know, but I mean, in order to avoid
But-
this,
But the problem is gonna be is a lot of times like this thing, when if the truck, they evidently had some issues. If you're, I mean, you have a brake problem or a drum goes or whatever, the air, it's gotta be done,
Right,
something's gotta be done with it immediately,
yeah, but that
so.
doesn't mean he has to always go through this legacy.
No, but this is the new
Where's this company at?
So
Shorewood, Illinois. So.
Where is it?
Shorewood, Illinois. So where is fire services at?
St. John.
They're in St. John?
So you're
So
paying,
where's this other company at that,
Sherwood, you're paying point to
Crown
point.
Point? Okay, we need to ban him from using legacy. That's my opinion, so however we need to do that.
Well,
This
there's
is-
certain
I'm
things we
sorry,
have to
this
be,
is out of our range, out
there's
of our
certain things
region.
we have to be careful with, like I said, because certain things that even the Trent Chicago, they can't work on. They can't work on the pumps or the fire side of there, they can work on the chassis and all that kind of, but the pumps and stuff have to be worked on by people that have certifications in doing
Okay,
that stuff.
I understand that.
Is
So
that these guys?
Legacy does, yeah.
does St. John and Crown Point, can they work on any part of our trucks?
St. John can work on, I believe, everything.
Fire service can work
So
on
they
anything.
can
Everything.
also work on these pumps and things that we're
Right.
talking about.
Fire services can.
But
Alright.
again, we have a
No, that's a personal issue they have.
miscommunication with.
That is a personal issue
I
he has.
understand,
He's
but
put that
you gotta,
aside.
I know, but you gotta know
Is
how
this
that runs
running?
deep. Yes, it's running,
He can watch the video.
yes, he can.
No way.
I don't know all
I'm
the
sorry.
reasons why he left up there. I know we had issues with them. I mean, anything to do with a fire truck, you're into big time money.
Well, the issues we had with fire service was when we didn't give them the tanker.
They were
They
upset
were
with us.
livid about it, or not, I shouldn't say they were, the guy at the shop, I talked to him and he didn't have a problem, it was basically the salesman who had a cow about it, and that's where that went, so. Anyway, and I don't know what happened to further, that caused the problem to go to legacy, I don't know.
The only thing I know is, I only know about the personal issues.
Yeah, and I think it had something to do with the ambulance purchase that they were specking out, there was this, these guys, what can I say?
You know, it
know.
wasn't even equipment. But
But I mean, that's something we can deal with going forward, but we're at this point now, the truck's been repaired, these are the invoices.
Well,
So we've gotta do something to get this straightened out, or get, decide what we wanna do we wanna,
So
I
the
mean, I
grand total of all three of these invoices is how much?
$14,073.
and we
So-
have 18 in the fund.
So what's the obligation or responsibility of the town when it comes to the repair of the vehicle?
You tell me, again, it is vague in there, so. Quick game.
We're just talking our stuff.
That's a good question when you read the contract, right? I mean, and I understand it's vague for a purpose, because I mean, it's kinda hard to spell everything out that you're gonna do or you're not gonna do.
I think what, at this point in time, for me, I need to know what is considered regular maintenance that they should be doing, or
So
that we shouldn't be paying for.
they have use of the vehicle, it's not like it's on rent or they're paying. So with construction equipment, any kind of rental equipment that we had in the dealership, it was our responsibility if we had it rented. And this isn't a lease, I mean, it's a use, so they ought to be able to cover the maintenance of
Well, so
using, cause they're putting wear on it, so they ought to be responsible for the
they
maintenance.
provide, according to, again, in the contract, they provide for the ladder pump testing, which they have to do, insurance, fuel, lubrication, minor repairs, and normal maintenance. So that is the gray area of what is minor repairs and normal maintenance.
Brakes are normal maintenance.
So I would say that the air conditioning issue is not normal maintenance. I
Could go either way.
it could go either way.
Yeah, it could go either way.
That could go either way. I would give him that. I struggle with with the brakes and all that stuff, because that, I mean, to me, that's normal maintenance on anybody's vehicle, that's your responsibility. I mean, at this point in time, I think we are just gonna have to pay it but we need to revisit what normal maintenance means in the contract.
So we'll have to spell that out this fall.
Are you okay with that, Charlie? Mr. Niemeyer?
I'm okay with what?
I'll make the
I-
motion,
I think
but
I-
I think we need to figure out what normal maintenance means.
I think, considering what is written in the contract, there is a pretty gray area there,
Correct.
standpoint of the brakes, the spring and so forth. You can look at a spring, my experience, you'd have a driver go for 200,000 miles, never break spring.
Right.
Next guy, 10,000.
Right.
So I don't know who's driving the vehicles. I don't know what the weight is and so forth. Can they brake? Yes. Is that regular maintenance? You aren't gonna use it without it, so. The air conditioning thing, to me, that's a gray area as well. I do know from driver standpoints, I mean, as soon as the first day goes to 80 degrees, everybody's off the top. Air conditioner don't work.
But did we plan for it? Did we look to see if the air conditioning even worked? You know, when your brakes are going out, you know you're gonna get X amount of mileage on them,
You'd like to think.
you'd like to think. And beyond that, somebody has to check them. I mean, that's, to me, part of regular maintenance. But,
They probably, if they are to, according to the contract, do regular maintenance, to me, they ought to have a sheet where they check off what they check, somebody ought to sign the thing.
Yeah.
This is what we did. Brake inspection should be done on a regular basis, according to DOT regulations and pre-trip, you ought to do that basically daily.
Well, this is what got me, because this is the spring stack that had to be replaced.
Yeah, she busted pretty good. That's a pretty good stack.
Looks like it's kind of rotted out too, right?
You're gonna get some salt.
I mean-
And stuff ain't gonna last forever.
No, I know.
okay, but.
And I don't have a problem with the springs because that truck's 10 years old.
Right, but it goes back to, could we have taken care of some of that with regular maintenance? Oh, hey, you know, our springs are going out, they're rotten, they're rusty.
If they're like
No.
anybody else,
That doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Well, I don't think
Okay,
they,
well, again, I'm getting educated here,
Yeah,
so.
I don't think they would have, outside of pulling the tires, they would have checked,
They would have
those.
seen
They would have
that.
actually seen it, so I don't know.
we run vehicles, when they break, you fix them.
Yes,
Yeah.
Uh,
And that falls,
Whether it be an air spring or a regular leaf spring, that's the way it is.
okay,
But when it happens,
it's right
from
now.
a safety standpoint, you gotta fix it right now.
so it hauls the same load of water around every time. So it isn't a case of them overloading it or misusing it, it's just that stuff fails and, yep, like Rich said, some will go 250,000 miles, some 50,000.
I hate to put that,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had drivers go forever,
Well, you have commercial fleets, so you
Then you
get,
have guys
I have
can't hardly get out of the yard without
my
having
fleets
a problem.
too.
Just depends on who's there and how they operate, you know.
So it's what's a major repair, you know?
I think down the road, maybe upon
Define that.
going next year with a contract, maybe we need to be a little more definitive about
Yep.
some of these things, and at this point here,
Well, at this point, I think we need to just pay the bill, but
We've talked about this before, I think we probably really need to get something on a paper, kind of
Yes.
spell it out, what
what is whose
What is-
responsibility.
here, these 10 things are not,
are not covered.
these are regular maintenance, anything else.
Yeah.
But I mean, something like this, the springs I got no problem with, because that is part of the truck, and,
Okay,
you know,
and I get that.
And the truck does have the age, and spring steel does become fatigued, and that's the way it is.
so without.
Did somebody, if you were an owner of that vehicle, you said, well, you drove it, you had a bump, you did this and that. No.
Yeah.
Okay,
But with the other stuff that they pulled out of the place, and there was some oil change and filters and stuff, I had to pull that out, so the 14,000 is down to $13,030, basically.
Well, I'll make a motion to pay the bills. With the
Motion has been made to pay the bills for our fire truck.
with a caveat to when we revisit the contract in the fall, that we sort of define what's regular maintenance and what is not, if we can.
Motion been made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to pay the bills to the Legacy Fire Apparatus Company for work done on fire truck pumper that is owned by the township, used by the town. By voice vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries.
And do we need a motion to change who maintains our vehicle starting from this point on?
Well, I think it should be local. I'm not saying it has to be somebody in St. John or Crown Point, but I think we need to be a little bit more local. I don't even know where Shorewood, Illinois is.
I think that maybe a conversation, maybe a call here to the trustee's office, you know, we have this issue. Where do we have some preference in it? Some of these things could have been done at Crown Point or could have been done in
St. John.
St. John. I mean, Mr. Quartercracks knows all these repair facilities right now are busy.
Yeah.
I mean, they are week off and easy. I don't know the circumstances at Legacy or at Fire Services. I don't know what the issue was at Fire Services. They're not afraid to charge you for what they do. The advantage is they can do everything and they're close.
I do think we have to have conversation with,
I can, I was gonna say maybe the best thing to do would be to approach fire services personally from us to them.
I think you
And then talk to them and see what
what,
they're feeling, what they're,
yeah, what's going on.
cause they may, I don't know, they may say, hey, just, you know.
Maybe they don't want us.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe they don't.
No, no.
You know, if we're gonna get the bill, I think you have a right to know what's going on here.
Yeah, I understand.
And,
Believe me, it's,
and I know they had a little snafu with us, but hey, we done our due diligence on that, so.
let me do that and I'll report back about what I find out and what we can go from there.
Well,
and
that's
see.
at least a start, just the conversation. I'm not saying we should have a motion to do
Yeah.
anything, we just, but we have to have conversations. So this board is instructing you to have a conversation.
I can do that.
Okay. We shall move on. St. John Redevelopment Commission correspondence on TIF. Enlighten us, Mr. Toth.
I didn't we didn't put it all in your packets, but
I have copies.
I received all of these, there's 6 different capture notifications that they call them. So I guess St. John is moving forward with 6 TIF districts. I'm not sure if they're, I'm guessing a few of them are residential, I'm not sure if the others are commercial, I'm not sure what they all are because it really doesn't say in any of the letters what they are or even where they're at.
Oh, it doesn't even give you an address?
It just gives them names.
For instance, let me show you one here. It says Orchard Gate, Sterling Gate allocation area.
Now that I know is a subdivision.
It's a subdivision, that's all I know.
Yeah.
So now we'll go to the next one. Basically, they're all the same.
Looks like
The St. John 2020 Southwest allocation area.
Okay.
He came in yesterday, I gave it to him.
Did they have this meeting yet or no?
And then you have here who is going to be contacted. These are overlapping taxing units.
So this was just
Some of these obviously are within Hanover Township.
Right. You wouldn't get the notification if it wasn't.
public, what's
So they're asking, I mean, I don't know if there's a whole
I
lot we
don't
can
think
do
they're
about them,
asking us
but,
anything.
excuse me?
I don't think they're asking
One of them
us anything, I
says,
think they're
one of them
telling
says
us.
north and south, so I mean, I have some ideas where some of them are, but the problem is, again, this goes to all the taxing districts who are going to be affected by it. So they have to send a notice to us to let us come in and remonstrate if we want to or whatever. So we're at that point of going to the meetings on June 26th at 6 p.m. I definitely feel we need to go there and remonstrate against this thing, but I don't know.
Some conversation I had, and I spoke with Kevin just very briefly about it. I think this gentleman here, who is the town manager, what I understand, we could actually request him to come down here and meet with us if we need to. He needs to explain some of this stuff, which I'm sure maybe some of it they don't want to,
Yeah, right,
okay?
that's why they're so vague.
But, that's where, if this, according to what Kevin says, probably been turned over to the town council. I think I can pick out probably 3 of those areas. The one area is right along 231 from Parish Avenue going east on the south side. A gentleman that lives back in that, what do they call it, Mill Creek, said he went to a meeting and that's where those townhomes. And then they wanna put a small, I don't know, I shouldn't say small, but like a little strip mall in front of that.
Commercial
wow.
strip, yeah.
That property has already been annexed into the town years ago. That was annexed under what was called a friendly annexation. My Aunt Mary Ellen Niemeyer was part of that. Herb Kleine was a part of that. Don Barman was a part of that. And whoever the guy is that owns the property, it'd be the southwest corner of Klein and 231. He's from Chicago, don't know the
Well,
man.
they're putting, from what I understand, there's gonna be a roundabout at Klein in 231.
I've been saying that for a number of years at this
Yeah,
point.
no, that's going in next
I
year.
think that's actually going to happen in the next year.
Yes, it is.
So, anyway, that property, that, I know under the friendly annexation, there was they put that in. The caveat on that was if somebody bought the rest of that farm, which was at Niemeyer's, and they did, and they had the right to annex that into the town. That's something, Mill Creek is all in the town of St. John. Okay,
Well,
and all the way to 230,
they have Cedar Lake addresses,
yes, they do.
but they belong to St. John
Well,
Township,
you go up there to Elmore Crossing, you got a dial address,
correct,
so.
Yeah.
That's a mailing address and mailing only.
yes.
This is where some of those persons and the gentleman that I talked to, is why I'm in Cedar Lake, because now you're.
When they annex it,
Technically
they
not.
annex
Okay,
it,
now, he's why I get my mail to Cedar Lake, yes, you do,
No,
so.
there's parts of it that are St. John Township, there's parts of it that are Hanover Township.
So it changes where they vote. They vote in St. John.
That would be correct,
If
Because it would
it's
be-
annexed.
yes.
But some of it is still unincorporated, there's still unincorporated areas that are, but either way, it's going to affect
Oh,
our
tax base, yep.
tax
Our tax base.
revenue,
All
because
revenue,
you're
yes.
not.
Ours, the schools.
Yeah, it affects everybody and, all points, so,
I think all the school superintendents have been notified.
But it does not affect where the kids go to school.
Yeah.
Because that's done by township only,
yeah, so you're gonna
Has
have,
nothing to do with it.
correct?
Right.
But they won't get that tax base, the
Funding.
funding.
but the problem is like even for the schools and even for us, whether they're incorporated or been annexed or not, they're still part of the township and we still have to provide services.
Correct,
And those services we're gonna provide without getting any revenue from those people, so.
correct.
So we will be providing, in my eyes, we're providing free services to anybody who moves into those allocation areas, whatever the hell you wanna call them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it is going to affect all of us, so how do we deal with that, I mean.
I took a little page off of my tax report. You have a lot of different line items here, you have county, township, okay? Tax rate 24 for townships, 0.1238. You add these all up. School district, of course, that was about 57% of that total rate goes to the school district. And then you had the special district, which adds on to that as well, and that's the referendum. Of course, my tax bill has no tax increment, nor does it have a municipal rate. But we pay more in the unincorporated area to the township rate because we add the cumulative fund to that. So now, basically, if they incorporate it, the only thing that our tax rate would be involved in is for our general fund and for our, assistance. Because they would have to cover the public safety of that incorporated area. And of course, any Q money, that's out, okay?
Yeah.
So, the way I understand this is that, well, let's say it's 50 acres of land or whatever we get off of that at this point in time. Now, if it is unincorporated, we're getting a full load off of there.
Correct.
If they incorporate it, then we were just, whatever part of our rate is strictly for general fund and for assistance. We would not be, they don't have to give us any of the increase in AV. Okay, they don't have to.
Okay.
What I understand, and maybe you guys can correct me, I think the school can request
Right, because they don't have to go.
up to 10% or something of that order. But they don't have to do it.
Right, they don't have to go.
Okay,
Wow.
so,
So
Okay.
you're talking
Free services.
free services to anybody who moves in. If they build 2,000 new homes, and whether it's St. John Township or us, we're going to lose because we're not gonna have any revenue to support those new people moving in or whatever.
Yeah,
And I mean, the schools are gonna be in more dire straits, so.
and if they designate that and then there's a turn in the economy and they don't build in it,
Well, that's the part that,
then,
now, the scariest part is that
yeah,
day one of those TIF districts going into existence, they can bond against future revenues. And that scares me, because that means you can figure, oh, well, you know what, we're gonna make $40 million off of that, right?
deficit
Over
spending.
20 years, and then they can bond against it and have no way of knowing whether they're gonna be able to,
Pay the-
whether that build will happen, or, you know, what if the housing market crashes? Again, it did in
Yep.
2008.
Right.
So it's
you know,
live
I
with
mean-
intermeans or deficit spending.
That's what they're doing, they're going in, that's what they wanna do.
Yep,
But the deficit's gonna be on us too, because there will be many more referendums, because the schools will have to find financial resources. Because they're not gonna get anything, you know,
we'll be able to say, welcome to Illinois.
I can,
like the boys
I am
on the
old
state
enough to
task force.
remember.
So I know that,
back in the early 1980s, we had a tremendous economic downturn. There was a development, if you took I-80 heading east towards Indiana, Country Club Hills.
Oh, yeah.
I recall seeing that community because we ended our route in Mokina, US Highway 45, LaGrange Road, whatever you wanna call it. Take I-80 and them houses were half built for 3 years. All you seen was the sticks.
That could happen.
I seen it.
I think it's going
Okay.
to.
Now, is it gonna happen? Can't answer that, but I seen
But
it.
it could.
I know people don't like history, but I seen it.
it repeats itself.
And you had people, I mean, you could have went in there and bought one of them shells for 50 cents on a dollar, okay?
Yeah.
But there's that possibility. I'm really interested, and I will make a point of being at that meeting. I'm really interested in seeing or hearing what this gentleman has to say. That is the town manager now. I wouldn't know if he walked in front of us, okay?
I don't know either. I did send him an email and asked him if we could have a meeting. I have not received anything back yet, so.
From what I understand, and I will verify this, but he has to do that.
I will actually make a phone call tomorrow if I don't hear anything back
There are
today.
some tips that have been introduced in Lowell.
Yeah.
You can check with Alice Dow, but I know that her and, what's her face, Heidi, were both invited in. Had a meeting with them. We deserve to know.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, that's true.
and,
I believe that.
whether that's what changed anybody's mind or not, probably not. But I believe that we deserve.
I think we need to go, you know, I will attend the meeting on the 26th, you know, and I will remonstrate against it to the point that it's taking money from everybody that, you know, we can't afford to lose.
Right.
You can't provide services if they're not paid for, and you know,
Yeah.
we'll go from there, so.
Okay.
Any other
Anyway.
discussion? Any other discussion? Anybody else have any questions?
No, I think we need chapter of that.
Lots
Yeah.
of chapters.
Could be. Okay, item 3, food pantry donations.
You got the, I just gave you a copy of the award letter in your packet, we got $4,200 and some dollars worth of it, I think, 4,365.
65.
I applied for, United Way opened up for another round of the EFSP funding, whatever it is.
EFSP.
Yeah, so we did get granted, I think I applied for 6 or 8, maybe it was 40, that amount, so. So that, we already got the first half of the payment, which is already in our accounts, and then once we use that, we get the other half, so.
What's Catholic Charities doing?
I haven't heard much about it, I mean, they do their own thing, kind of, so.
Okay.
I know the church does a lot, but that doesn't really have anything to do funding with us or anything, or, so. But it was another nice donation, so.
$4,365, $4,365.
That is a fair amount of money, in my opinion.
I know that
And then we-
Colleen has opened St. Clair Kitchen again,
Yeah,
so.
and then we did get $500 from Centier and a couple weeks ago when Centier had their ribbon cutting, grand opening kind of deal, they donated $500 also, so we got that.
Good.
Any other discussion on item 3?
No.
Item 4, 2025 Lowit request to Lake County Council. Mr. Toles.
I done like I've done since I got here, I did the application for all the townships who are eligible to get money out of the Lowit. I turned it into the council, so right now they have a study session tomorrow, and then next week, Tuesday, I believe it goes in front of the council for the approval of the application or not. So, and I always apply for there's 7 townships that are eligible, and I always apply for all 7, so I just updated the application and turned it in, and it's in their hands now. Never been a problem, shouldn't be.
Okay, great. Perfect, thank you.
And if you don't apply,
You don't get
it.
it.
Okay.
That's right.
You don't get.
You don't get what you don't ask for.
Any other discussion on the Lowit request? Questions? Item H, any and all?
Just real quick, just for your knowledge, I think Terry put that in here, you guys got the Trust Indiana statement?
Yep.
That is just what's in Trust Indiana. We do have other funds that are still here that we don't put everything in the Trust Indiana. But just so at this point, with the rainy day and the fire cume, we are sitting at real close to $600,000. Just kind of put it in, I just wanted to throw it out there to you guys and kind of think about the future, what we want to do. We are going to have to do something with that engine sooner or later. To keep it on the front burner here, which direction we're gonna go. I think we have enough money in there to do a real nice refurb on that truck if it's worth it. We did.
Who would determine whether it be worth it or not? Yourself?
No, it would be me. No, I think we would have to be, that's where I would probably go to like fire services or somebody, cause they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And throw it to them and say, hey, what do you guys think, is this worth?
So in that case, what I'd like to see, the fire service look at, maybe the legacy look at too.
Well, yeah, I would. I think that there's companies out there that do it.
Okay.
I can't believe that there wouldn't be anything wrong with the chassis and all that. It doesn't have that many miles on it. They can take the whole back end off and redo the pumps, put new pumps in there and put a whole new chassis, the whole new back end. And I think we need to, maybe very soon start looking at direction and options of what we wanna do. And I'm not saying spend the entire amount, just that we need to do what's best for
When they get
us.
the body off, they could possibly even do it with some sandblasting and repainting.
Oh, yeah, they'll do it.
That's
I
usually
mean,
what
paint
they do.
saves a lot, unfortunately, like your OEMs do a poor job of painting, okay. But, I bought a truck in the year 2000, I still have it. Frame is good, depends on how you spec them out. I probably got 1 million miles on the thing. As before mentioned, depends on who drives it.
I just wanted to kick it out, Doug, I had to.
I am personally all for looking into refurbishing that truck. I think as a wise investment, I probably would not be as encouraging about buying a new one. Not at this point in time.
I don't even know if we could buy anyone for 6, but I think maybe, again, I'll talk to fire services, I'll contact even this guy from Legacy and all that and see if I don't know if Legacy does refurbish it, some do, some don't, just, but there's other companies
If there
out there.
would be an instant where, for instance, someone had bought a new truck 2 years ago or something and it was of similar needs that we have, I would consider that. I have no idea what new trucks cost, fire trucks in particular, I know what new trucks cost, fire truck, I can't imagine.
Well, the thing we gotta, we gotta think about too going forward is as far as I understand, Cedar Lake's truck is still being built, the one that they ordered. I'm not sure where it's at in the pipeline, it's been quite a while now. So if they get a new truck, that would probably basically turn ours into a backup at this point. I mean, they really don't have enough manpower to run two stations or anything like that, so that's not gonna happen. So, I mean, my thought was if they got their new truck, once they got it in service, then that would be a good time to do something with this one, to put it out and get it redone or whatever we wanted to go, in which direction we wanted to go.
I would agree with that.
But again, manpower issues, they're gonna kind of split their manpower now between here and the other side of the lake, so that's gonna cause some, problems, right up front here, maybe down the road they get some extra people. I don't know, maybe we do something to try to figure out some other way of dealing with this, but anyway. But I did talk that I made a maintenance done on the HVAC and rooftop today. And I asked the guy, basically, what are we looking at here, how many more years, cause that thing's not going up on the roof either, and those ain't cheap. I mean, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes, it is.
So, he said, according to him, everything looks good on there, he said, you should get another 5-10 years out of that rooftop, so. So we're good on that. I'm a little worried about the roof. I don't really know how old it is either, but it's,
Flat roof?
yes, sir.
Okay.
I know.
So
and
there's no way to find out to replace that the last time for records, or?
I don't know if the library did or not.
I don't think Terry, I think we tried to find something and we couldn't up that
Is there
Terry. But,
I mean, for lack of a better term, is there a good roofer that does that kind of work, and get up and give us a,
I know, that was my next
Did
thing, was thinking
Coryllis
about.
go up there?
Huh?
Coryllis was the one who did some work up there, Coryllis Roofing?
That's
I
before
mean,
me,
nobody
I
likes
had no
a
idea.
flat roof, okay?
I know.
Not at all.
It's just it's a
But-
messy thing to repair, and
But that could be a costly redo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tens of thousands of dollars too,
Yeah.
definitely, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that might be a good idea to get somebody to look at it, if there's somebody we could trust to look at it and give us an honest, I mean, I don't know.
I would take a commercial roofer,
Or
If there's shingles, you can look at it and pretty much tell, so that thing, I don't,
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
like 2 or 3 people look at it, and at least,
So is it rubber or is it got stone on
No, it's rubber.
The Three Stooges go up there, I swear.
yeah, right?
Yeah, no, there's no stone up there.
I watch a lot of cartoons.
It's got a center
I
drain
love it.
right in this area, something not a center drain, but like a rear
it?
drain.
With a membrane?
Yeah. So but there's something that I know we're gonna have future costs, so just so y'all know that that's on the
Yeah.
horizon, so I'm
Yeah.
looking, trying to keep you all up to date. And one other quick thing, and I will leave it at that. And I received this, and I was gonna throw it away, but it was addressed to Hanover Township. And this was an infamous letter, I'm sure that everybody heard
I've
about.
read the letter,
I'm not gonna bring it in, I'm not gonna read it, I'm not gonna do anything about it, all I'm gonna do is say is that it's signed and out, there's no signature on it, it's anonymous, so I really
Doesn't
don't wanna deal
exist.
with it at all.
Yep.
You can read it after the meeting, or you,
yeah, it'll make your,
I'll
it'll
come in, so
turn your stomach.
I don't know anything about it, and we'll leave it that way.
well, I'm just saying,
If it's anonymous,
yes, and that was
There's
what
no-
it was addressed to the township, and I just wanna I didn't want anybody to say that I
it
didn't.
means nothing to me if it's anonymous.
Right, it is completely anonymous.
Burn it.
Okay, I just wanted y'all, I just trying to be upfront with everybody so that there's no,
Burn
you
it.
know,
Yep, just throw it away.
That's what you say.
We're here, anybody wants to come to the meetings and sit in on them.
That's right.
I'll stop by and read it up just a little bit, I glanced at it.
We welcome your input.
Just,
yes.
Anything else?
No,
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
so
Motion made.
moved. Oh, second.
Motion been made by Mr. Crockraft, seconded by Marilyn.
Yep.
Voice vote, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
That's
Beth,
quartercracks with an O.
take your seats.
Hand the camera to Beth. They got your name in there.
All right.
How's your treatment stuff going?
So far, so good. Yeah, yeah,
Is there
I